Hello, people out there. Welcome to another episode of the Brent Mukai podcast. This is episode number 37. I just recently checked, and I don't think that 36 posted to like Facebook or YouTube, so I'll have to rectify that. Rectify. What a great word to start with. Uh, may I greet you once again, all of you sweet Brentologists, you League of Extraordinary Brentlemen, all of the Mukai-teers, you Mukaleles, all of you sweet Mukakis, you Brentomologists, all of you, just all of you Brent house pets. I don't know. It's like penthouse pets. I don't know what that means. All of you Brentagon Brentagon Secret Service agents. I don't know. What do they do at the Pentagon? And why does the Pentagon have to you Brentagrams? A Brentagram. What the fuck would that look like? Is it just a star with my face in the middle? That's funny. A Brentagram. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Wednesday. That is today. I'm just coming from teaching at the high school that I normally teach at. It was good. It's been a good fucking week. Let's say that. It's been a good, 5 days since the last time I talked to you all. Let's start there, shall we? Let's start with Friday. I was nervous about the personality testing and administering that out to all of these people and then applying it to a corporate training that I was doing. Went swimmingly. Went straight from there to a rehearsal that lasted 8 hours for this play that I'm doing, Accidental Death of an Anarchist, which opens next week. That opens this coming week. And then Saturday I had a busy ass day where I would be going from a corporate training that I would do with 7 women who are part of a group that are part of a women's support group for each other from Los Angeles, and that went really well. I was nervous about it because I was I got there and I was even more nervous because now I'm in this suite, and there's these 7 women, and all of them are just they're definitely LA, strong, independent, businesswoman-y type, just real, thin yoga, and 40s, 30s, 40s, so it's a little intimidating, and they've been around the block and they've lived life a lot, and they're here, and I mean, I'm just walking you through what's going on in my brain. I'm like, oh fuck, these women, are looking at me, and I'm just I look like just this young dude who's supposed to help them out and help them get better at communication. That was a thought in my brain, was oh shit, how does this look? First off, how does this come across? How does this look? And then I start talking, and one of them is oh, I did improv for years. 3 of them are familiar with improv, and one of them has been doing improv did improv for years, was an actress for years. So I'm fuck, am I gonna be going over certain things? I'm doing my best to hide, because then I break it down and I say, hey, let's sit together in a circle and just let me know what you're hoping to get out of today so I can help you better. And lo and behold, it went wonderfully. The whole workshop just was it was wonderful because we could get into minutia of detail that I will not be getting into on the podcast because the just client confidentiality. I'm not gonna be talking about what we specifically talked about, but God, it might have been the best training that I've ever done for communication. For those of you who don't know what I mean when I say corporate training, I forgot to say it today. Brent Mukai, voice actor, improv trainer, entertainer. Improv trainer, I teach improv to artists. I teach improv in the corporate setting. To give a better perspective, not a better perspective, but to give a different perspective on ways that we kind of start to behave and different modes that we start to take on once we have lived life a little bit. So these women came to me. One of the women approached me online and said, we're doing this thing and we're coming out for a girls' weekend, and I think that it would be cool to have you come in. And I mean, dude, like, I'm going to be completely honest. I was afraid. I was afraid, one, that they would think that I was outside of my league, because it's like, well, I mean, this dude is like, what? He's just some young guy, but like the age, I guess, has nothing to do with it when I really think about it. Also, the fact that I look older does help me out in that realm, in that it seems like the fact that I look older to a lot of people, I'm 29 and I look, 30-something, I think helps out a ton too, because I think people let their guard down a little more when it comes to learn. I think not that they put their guard down. I think that people put their guard up a little bit, or there's a subconscious, like, if I look like a fresh-faced 20-year-old, I think that people would kind of be like, oh, and I came in, it would be like, what is this guy going to teach me? What is it? This guy, this probably just talks to his mom, and and of course I'm exaggerating, but that's this guy looks like he's just going to go play D&D. Is that what he's going to teach us? And none of that existed. The second that we started, the second that we got into the exercises that I ran them through, it started getting good, and it was 3 hours long. And fuck, like I just like this weekend was just wonderful, because I don't think I will ever feel that feeling of like, am I out of my league here? Are people like, what can people learn from me? Like, As it turns out, even if you've lived a nice full long life and you are successful, people need these skills, and people need this, and people need communication skills, because we forget to break down communication to its basest core because we do it so often, right? So I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying that this was a fucking win, because I'm like, if I can go in, if me, Brent, 29-year-old Brent Mukai, who has, goofed around and is just this consummate goofball character, right, can go in and have a really meaningful workshop and conversation with 7 women who have done far more than I have. I mean, who understand business and do all this stuff and are highly successful. Like, if I can do that, like, and offer something, I have something to offer everyone. What I'm realizing, like, I knew this before. I always knew this, and that's how I treated it and got through it. Not got through it, but why I succeeded was because I kept telling myself, these people are all just human. Man or woman, we're human beings, and we're living in this world, and we're living in certain ways, and the things that we do, nobody's perfect. That's why communication is so important, because it's one of the things we think about the least, so we take it for granted, and then because of that, somebody like me can come in and show you, like, you've been like some of the women there. I think all 7 of them got something out of it, and like how open we could be, and just I loved it. Like, it was the deepest, because there's certain levels to the ideas that I talk about concerning listening and empathy and all of these different skills. Soft skills is what it's called now, is the corporate buzzword. Soft skills of listening, empathy, team building, all of the words of whatever. But it all just breaks down to simple communication. And what I do is I break it down into fun games that we can play. We're laughing, we're enjoying ourselves. And I think that what I bring also, and why I push the improv aspect of it so much, is because I start seeing that when I come in and do these, and what I have to never forget, I guess, is that what I do is so liberating because it's fun. What I'm coming in to do is just fun exercises that can show you something about yourself that maybe you already knew, but maybe you didn't even understand how it quite affected you or how much it affected you. So, man, like, it was just wonderful. And we had just this connection between me, and they're asking these, some of these questions aren't easy, and I'm guiding them through, and I at no point did I feel lost in what I was talking about or what I could do for them. I didn't go outside of my bounds, and that's exactly it. Like, as far as communication and effective communication goes, like, I feel like I can go toe to toe with almost anybody, with almost any type of trainer in these types of exercises, and do that. And I think what I add to the mix is I give fun. That is my number one thing, is like, I want us to all have fun. And I think that if I as I go through these exercises and I start to see it, I can see people waking up, like waking up a part of them that they didn't know was possible, or not possible, that they didn't know was still there, like the inner child or whatever the fuck you want to call it, like, these are grown women, very successful, and we're just laughing and having a blast and just going through these just exercises, and fuck, like, it was amazing to see. And I wonder how many of these people, like, have these laughs, like, just people in general, right? How many people in general just play and have a moment where they can really just play? Like, that's what I offer. And that's the biggest strength I think I have, is that I can teach as well as help people have fun and have fun with the whatever it is that they're doing. So whether it's a bunch of accountants and we're having fun, and I'm doing some performance-y type stuff as well as teaching and having them do some exercises, or this group of 7 women that are just like, we just got to break it down. The answers to communication a lot of times aren't solved by some extremely complex set of rules, but by very small things that are difficult. Things like really listening, and having the self-awareness to realize when you're not really attuned and listening. And man, it was just so fucking good. Like, I have a newfound confidence in my improv training and my corporate training from this point forward. If I'm ever worried or afraid, or like, oh, what if these people, what if XYZ, what if this group of whatever, I had a similar thing when I had to go and teach a bunch of cops, improv and how to communicate better, because their job is to communicate to an audience a lot of times. And man, those people were fun. Like, I'm thinking cops, and I'm thinking like, oh man, they're going to be like stern and angry and all, but we're people. We're all just fucking people. We're all just fucking people. That's not the takeaway. We're all people. We're human beings. We're all one thing. Like, we're all human beings. And the difference is, there's more. There are millions of things. There are millions of things within us and the way that we think and the way that we operate that are so similar. But all we want to focus on are the differences, Like, all I thought of previous, where my brain kept going was like, how different these people are from me, how different a room full of police officers are from me, or how different a room full of 7 highly successful, businesswomen are from me. How different I am from 30, accountants in this accounting firm. Like, I just kept thinking that, and like, fuck. Like, I'm not. There's more in common than there is different. I think that if we could absorb that fact, like really take that in, we maybe that would solve a lot of problems. That we're all a little more similar than we are different. It's such a weirdly No, sorry, excuse me. A weirdly simple concept, but it's so hard to put to practice, especially when somebody cuts me off in the middle of wherever I am. You know what I mean? And like I'm getting angry and upset because that asshole, But that's when I need it the most. Is in that moment. Anyways, enough about that. After that, I got to go and engineer this class for a woman who is a casting director for animation. She came to town to teach. Just a kind-hearted woman. Like, just I can't believe that she's fucking teaching. Like, I cannot believe that she's fucking teaching. Like, she's so busy. She has so much shit to do, and yet she's saying, okay, you know what? I'd also like to teach and help people and give away knowledge that I've learned, and I want to help people. And that's such a rare thing, is people who really know what they're fucking doing, like saying, okay, I'm going to help teach and I want to do this, like, and really genuinely help. And it like, I could tell, like, as we were going through the class, it was just like, wow, like, this woman's really cool. Like, I asked her afterwards, I was like, why do you teach? And I think that it caught her off guard. I was like, can I ask you something? She's like, yeah. I was like, why do you teach? I don't know what she thought I was thinking, but she gave me a look like, what? like maybe I had some ulterior motive. Like I was asking her, like, are you trying to teach for money? Or I don't know what it was, but there was a sec. I could have phrased it better. That was me being a bad communicator in that moment, coming right straight from the best communication seminar workshop that I've ever done. I asked a question as dumb as, why do you teach? Because to me it was like, wow, like, and then I clarified. Obviously, I was like, you seem like, it seems like you're so busy, you have so much to do, and like, how do you find the time? And it was cool. And she was just like, there's an element of it that I just really enjoy, and I like helping people and seeing them succeed. And she had to think about it, so I don't think that she's really even thought about it herself, which is kind of a cool little moment. Wait, is this off? Is this whole thing off? I'm just looking at my... Yeah. Sorry, everybody. That's, like, weirdly... My thing was off axis. I kept looking at it. Like, why the fuck is it off axis? Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that's going on. I got to read for her a bunch of different stuff, show her what I could do, and I think it turned out really well. Her name is Sarah Jane Sherman. Sarah Jane Sherman. She is she knows her shit. All the questions I asked, and she's like, if you look at her IMDb, she's nuts. Like, she's done fucking all this Disney stuff. Like, she's doing freelance now, and fuck, man, like, she is legit. I'm going to continue training with her. Yeah, that's continue training with her. And the cool part was I've hit her up on Twitter a bunch. Like, well, not a bunch even. It's like maybe 4 or 5 times. And when we met, and I was like, hey, I'm Brent, blah, blah, blah. She was like, have we worked together? Have we met before? And I'm like, oh, no, but I hit you up on Twitter a lot, and I appreciate you. I can tell that she really likes it, too, because she's giving away tips on Twitter. And, like, she responds back to me when I ask questions of her on Twitter. And, like, it was cool because she was like, oh, you seem familiar. And I was like, oh, well, that's the social media at work. So it's that just brings it up, right? That this shit that I'm doing is so important. It's so important. Like, it's if I can be that and be familiar to a lot of different casting directors and a lot of different people, then that's a fucking win. Dude, that's a fucking win. I can't even like explain how much of a win that is. But anyways, I digress. The day went amazingly. I went to rehearsal after that and was just like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And yeah, and I was just on fire that day. Like, I was just on complete fucking fire. What can you say to that? And so I'm working. I'm just working and keeping on going. And I've got another gig this Friday morning for the woman that I teach improv for her keynote speaking students. So I'm doing that. On top of, I'm doing I'm doing 2 classes for her, one this week, another one like 2 weeks from now, which is cool. In turn, I'm helping write. This is a little bit. I don't know, but okay. So I'll say it. I am going to be helping to write character demos now for the voice actors studio, and helping work on those, which I think is really fucking fun. Just getting a little bit of writing. So the character demos themselves, for those of you who don't know, the demo is basically 1.5 to 2 minutes for character stuff. What can you do with your voice? How many different voices can you do? And man, like I had some fun. Basically, this person who I won't name. I'll post the demo later on, but I won't name them. But I wrote their demo out, and I had written my own demo. Because somebody told me, an industry professional told me, keep it funny, make it funny. And I was like, if it's funny, I think I know how to fucking make it funny. I think I know how to make somebody laugh, right? So I wrote my own. They were so impressed by it. The person who cut my demo was so impressed. The owner of the voice actor studio was so impressed by it. She said, will you help me write other character demos and I'll pay you for it? And I was like, fuck, yeah, yes. So I'm just like so stoked, and we're doing it. It's a student of mine that's been training with me, and I've been teaching a lot of improv and acting techniques and all this stuff, who's just grown so much and gotten so good at so many different things. And fuck, dude, like I'm just so proud of this guy, and to be writing his demo, like, and I wrote it, I sent it off. She said, cool. I don't have a single thing I want to change. I think it's perfect. So boom, like it's like a whole new revenue of like helping people and doing all this shit. Like I can't. That's like, just knowing that exists is really cool, and knowing that in the future I'll be helping out with that endeavor, because it's like I can take my comedy and my writing ability and really just kind of push it along, and find a way for it to matter in the context of what I'm doing. Like it's like I keep it's like for 10 years of my life, right? I was following what I wanted to do and doing things because I thought that they were fun, and I was trying to figure out how to turn it into some type of career. And now that I just kept going and just worked for so much for free. Like, how many shows have I done for free? I've probably done more shows for free than I will ever be able to replicate for pay in a lifetime. Like, that's just legitimate. Like, I've done more things for free just to get experience and to grow and to grow in this field, and to know that all means something, and that I can grow and find a way to fuel my passions into money is I mean, fuck. And now, like, with the improv to corporate training, like, dude, I just when I started like 10 years ago, I didn't fucking have any idea where the improv would take me. I guess you never do. I guess you never know where the improv is going to take you. But I'm a better, more whole person now, like, than I was. I used to be like the biggest idiot. I was completely. I talk a lot about entitlement and how I can't stomach it, but that's because I was entitled. I grew up son of a woman who was above middle class. We weren't rich by any means, but we were upper middle class. Like, my mom made a lot of money doing sales and a lot of this different stuff, being a sales representative for Procter and Gamble back in Hawaii, and she did more well off than I ever, thought. And growing up, like, other people were like, oh, I can't, like, we're like broke and had that, and I didn't ever 100% understand that, now that I'm older, I can look back and be like, fuck, like, I had it really, really good. Like, I had so many benefits that so many people did not have, So, so now that I've struggled, and even then, I can't even say I've struggled for 10 years. Like, my mom helped me out with a lot with a lot of shit, like going through college and sending me money and all of this shit. And I'm so grateful to her because she did not, I don't think she ever saw this career path that I've taken as anything that was even possible. But now I get to talk to her and tell her what I'm doing, and I think she gets it now. Like, okay, I had to figure out how to use all this. And before I had no skills. Now I have these skills, and I'm not perfect at them by any means. And I kept repeating this on Saturday to these women that, like, there are still times that I completely fuck up. I can think of huge fuck ups that I've made in the last few months in communication. Like, there's one that stands out hugely to me that I don't want to talk about because it's weighed on me, and I'm waiting to still kind of clarify and clear it all up with the person. Like it's just a really big one with a friend of mine, and I don't want to get into it because it would be impossible to explain it without going into too much detail. But I still fuck up. Like, I've still fucked up, but now I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm not entitled, and I'm not saying, well, everybody just misunderstood. Like, it's I need to make things right. There's certain things that I just need to make things right, and I'm going back and forth emails because I'm getting a new logo, right? I'm getting a new logo for my business and all this shit, and like I'm not being fair to the person who's creating the logos. Like I need to be better. Like, I need to be better at communication constantly as well. And however busy I get, there has to be moments where I can sit and be like, okay, who do I need to fucking talk to and say this to? Like, how can I be better at this shit? So, yeah, it's not easy. And I never want to be the guy who is teaching about communication, so believes that their communication is as solid a foundation as it's ever going to be, because then I think that it stops me from growing. The second that I say, oh, I have a handle on this. I don't have a handle on this. I'm learning it. But that's what makes me a good teacher, is that I'm steps ahead of other people, and I can help teach those steps. But as that's going on, I'm also still making steps towards my own better communication and my own better awareness and self-awareness, and shedding shedding all of my previous stupidity and unawareness, ignorance. I'm consistently trying to get better at being less ignorant, but I'm ignorant to a lot. Like, there's so much in the world, and I think that the people that I really care about and the people that know me understand that I'm trying to work on this, But, sorry, I digressed. I just want to let you know that as much as I brag, right? As much as it seems like I'm just be like, fuck yeah, I'm on fire, I'm doing that. Like, it's not that. I'm still learning too. So let's go to Twitter, shall we? Let's go to Twitter for some Twitter news. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on with the Twitterverse. Or just in the world, I guess. Okay, let's see. The Office alums Steve Carell and Greg Daniels reunite for a Space Force comedy. Hollywood Reporter says Carell will be paid $1 million per episode for the new Netflix show based on Trump's Space Force. Oh my God. Entertainment Weekly says Steve Carell reuniting with The Office boss for Trump-inspired Netflix series Space Force. Oh my God, that sounds absolutely incredible. Carell co-created the series with Greg Daniels. That's just... Can you imagine how... Number one, let's just applaud Space Force. That actually sounds pretty cool. Let's have like a Space Force. Like, as much as it sounds stupid and funny, like yes, it's ripe for comedy, but maybe it's a step in the direction of thinking outwardsly towards space and all of the Elon Musk Mars shit. Like, I don't know. Fuck, that's brilliant. That's so brilliant. And Steve Carell just, you know what, to me Steve Carell does great is he's he can be vulnerable, um and ignorantly vulnerable. So he played in The Office. He's just this very ignorant guy, um that becomes somebody that you actually feel bad for. You know what I mean? Like, it's somebody you feel bad for, and I think that's it. He has this ignorant, and it's nothing but, a lot of time, most of the time, it's sprung out of good intention. So there's an element of he played Brick in in Anchorman, and just played this completely ignorant, stupid guy, with just like there's an element to him of fun and love that's there that really kind of accentuates and brings together this ultimately relatable character, somebody that you might not believe yourself to be, but somebody who's ultimately sympathetic and you feel for. I'm super excited for that. Fuck, Space Force comedy. What other? You couldn't have a Space Force drama. Nobody would take that serious. It would turn into a comedy. That's such a good idea. And $1 million, congratulations to Steve Carell and to Netflix. Like, holy fuck. What? How big is your budget? Like, are you just going to make 6 episodes? That's $6 million that's just going to Steve Carell. How many episodes is this shit? 1 million per episode? Holy shit, you got to be shitting me, dude. That's nuts. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. What do we do? Trevor Noah's thoughts on Bryan Cranston's casting as a man with a disability opens dialogue. Activist and YouTuber Annie Segarra shared her thoughts on the Daily Show segment in which Trevor Noah talked about the Upside's casting choice. While Segarra was glad to see Noah using his platform to draw attention to the issue, she also felt his approach was dehumanizing for people with disabilities. Let's see. The Breaking Bad star said it is an actor's job to pretend to be different people. Oh, the Upside is where he is a paraplegic man, where he is in like a chair and Kevin Hart takes care of him. Kevin Hart, by the way, just, oh my God, what movie is this guy not in? What comedy movie is Kevin Hart not fucking in? How many comedy movies is he doing? He's just a machine. He's just a fucking machine. Let's see what he said. Bryan Cranston has been cast as a disabled man in the movie The Upside, sparking a conversation about representation in Hollywood. Okay. That's fair. On one side, yes, representation important. On another side, and I remember this talk was also, they also had a talk like this about the kid from Glee. The kid who was in the wheelchair from Glee, and was like, and in that movie they actually had auditioned kids who were in a wheelchair, and it just didn't work out. And one of the people who auditioned ended up speaking out and saying, I appreciate that I was allowed in the room and allowed to be in the discussion. And I think that the guy who plays it is playing it absolutely fantastically. And that was just a cool thing to me. That's the with how much outrage we have towards things nowadays, to have somebody in that spot say, like, the guy's doing a really good job. Like, I don't think, if I'm recalling correctly, I don't think he went as far as to say that the guy who got the role was better than him, but I think he made a point to say, like, no, they casted it really well, and like, I have no qualms that they chose somebody else. They did an excellent job with casting, and he's playing the role very well. Sometimes you don't fit a role. Sometimes you just don't fit a role. So, that was really cool to hear from that guy's perspective. I can't remember his name. This was years ago. I remember they were talking about this, but. And then I think there's been conversations also about, straight men playing gay men. Should that be a thing? And then, the obvious thing is like, well, gay men are playing straight men, like that's happening. So ultimately, shouldn't the role go to somebody? The role should go to whoever it is who can perform it to its utmost ability and all of that. And like, is that's tough. That's tough because it's like, well, did they actually cast, or did they audition paraplegic people for this role that Bryan Cranston's playing? I know that movies play a little more difficulty in this role because to be the star, right? You have to you're hoping that you can draw names with another person. So you put Kevin Hart together with Bryan Cranston, and you hope that the two circles of people that like Bryan Cranston are different enough from the people who like Kevin Hart, and that all those people will go see the movie. Now, that's the way it's kind of always been. And as I'm saying that, I'm not saying that that's fair. I mean, that's why Scarlett Johansson was cast as the Asian woman, Takashi Nimamuro or whatever. I don't even know the fucking name, in Ghost in the Shell and all that shit. And so there's a part of me that gets it. There's a part of me that's also like, okay, like maybe we could use some change. Maybe the change would benefit a lot of people, And then you have things like Crazy Rich Asians that come out of the woodwork and are surprising because it's like, whoa, like, oh, you can do a movie with all Asians and nobody's really a big name in it, but But then I wonder, is it the spectacle of just having an all Asian movie, a mostly Asian movie, that drives that then? And then are you saying that now we're making Madea movies, right? Which no knock on that, but I mean, fucking, what's his face is making so much fucking money and creating TV shows and all of it. And oh my God, Tyler Perry is just like killing the game. He's a shrewd businessman. I can't hate on that. You can say what you want about his work, but fuck, man, he just knows how to play that card and play it all the way to the bank. Like, so is that the situation that we want to be in, where Asians are like, well, let's just make more Asian-only movies? Or what I would hope is that we can stop thinking of it in terms of, hey, stop doing that and stop doing that and stop doing this and stop doing that, and we can just kind of have like, okay, well, let's audition more of these people for this role. Let's audition some people that wouldn't be typically thought of in this position for this, and it doesn't have to be anything about the fact that they're Asian. They can play it as they just fit a role really well, and then we'll see where that takes us and where that goes. That's the ultimate goal, I think. The disabled part, though, can be maybe tough. Like that's a conversation that I will say I'm not nuanced enough to feel like I have a good thing to say about that. So let's see this thread. By Annie Segara. I am really glad that Noah used his abled privilege and large platform to discuss disabled mimicry, but I also have complicated feelings about it. I've mentioned it before, and this is a good example of how I never thought of it like that. Can feel dehumanizing. Your aha moment is, oh, disabled people are diverse. Oh, disabled actors exist. Oh, disabled actors are not bad actors because they are disabled. Oh, a disabled actor has the same chances of being an amazing actor as any abled actor. Oh, disabled actors are not typically hired for abled roles. Oh, disabled actors should be given equal opportunities to get work. I get that these are real realizations for many, but I think it's important to try to have some respect for the dialogue, for the disabled activists already in the room. You're arriving late, and the tardiness has been a heavy burden. We've needed you to get in here for a while now. Noah even says that this epiphany was inspired by a tweet from a disabled actor and then doesn't mention their name. It's one thing to talk about uplifting the visibility of disabled people and another thing to actually do it. by crediting the disabled activists whose experiences you've learned from, perhaps inviting them to discuss it on your platform so that you can better navigate the dialogue. This clip reminded me that so many people don't see disabled people as human enough to be an ally to, don't even know about the equalities we fight for. Many responded to Noah's, "Why didn't they get a disabled person to play a disabled person?" with laughter, like, "How ridiculous." And how no matter how vocal disabled people have been on this topic for the longest time, while people laughed, ignored, or antagonized disabled people for wanting respectful, authentic, good quality disabled representation and equal job opportunities for disabled creatives, they then have aha moments when an abled person like Trevor Noah says it on TV. We've got a long way to go. Okay. I have a complicated feeling about the way that this tweet was put together, because it's like, one, Trevor Noah is basically having that aha moment. Yes. Okay. He's having that aha moment. But it came off a little bit, I don't know. Isn't there, let's see, what does she say about Noah? Trevor Noah. Noah even says, "It's one thing to talk about. The clip reminds me how vocal." I mean, I'm really glad that Noah used his abled privilege and large platform to discuss disabled. Isn't there some type of, like, can't there be, right, some level of Trevor Noah, good job, because you're actually talking about this, and this isn't something that people are talking about, and you've brought awareness to it. It feels like this is just somebody saying you could have done this better. You could have done this better by doing these things, and can't you see that this is something that should have been brought up before? Right? To me, it's lacking an element of I'm deeply appreciative that you brought this up. Thank you. What would help is, right, that's critique. That's critique to me. Because then it's like he did this good thing by actually saying this, and by doing this, and you're attacking him by saying, well, you should have said it sooner. And it's not attacking. Maybe that's not the right word, but couldn't there have been an element to this of, this is really good, other than just, I'm really glad that Noah, because then we go from there and then go on how I never thought of it like that can feel dehumanizing, and bam, 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 and you, I mean, power to you, right? You are talking about your feelings, and you have a right to your feelings, but I get that these are real realizations, and for the disabled activists already in the room, you're arriving late, and the tardiness has been a heavy burden. Noah even says that this epiphany was inspired by a tweet from a disabled actor, and then you're just critiquing the man for doing something that, he didn't have to do. And I applaud him for that. So I don't know. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. I think I agree with you on many of these points, right? I can't even imagine what that's like on that side, because now we're finally getting a little bit of racial, equality, and now disabled people would like equality too, and I believe wholeheartedly in that, 100% in that. But don't attack the guy who is trying to help you. And he's trying to put it out there, and he says it himself. I never thought of it like that. So for him to be like, I've never thought of it like that, and then for you to say, well, a lot of people say that, and it doesn't help me out, and I still feel ignored, and we've got a long way to go, and all of this stuff. Can't there be that element of thank you for bringing it to attention. Here is how I think we can make this better. This is common, Twitter, though. Twitter, there's a lot of Twitter stuff that's people just go straight to the attack. I don't know what it is, but like, and I'm sure that if we sat in a room together, right, and we had this conversation, it would be much better than doing it. But I think that there needs to be an awareness also. This is the bigger thing. I think that there needs to be an awareness of how we come across social media and what we're trying to do and how we do that. I think that there should be, to what we say, there should be just as much attention to what we say as how we say it on social media. And I think that there's a lot of people who are tone deaf to that. So sure, you saying all of these things, I agree with you, but like, can't we say, I thank you for doing this, like, because then why don't you just, like, it's like the person who's trying to stand up to help, you're just knocking down, saying you could have been better by doing this. Like, does that help, or is it more helpful to say, and to be fair, she says it at the top, but it's just there's a prevailing element to it that seems a little bit dismissive of that, and to be fair, like, this is like a moment for you to speak out and say something in this light, and I'm sure there is a lot of frustration, I'm sure there is a lot of anger, right? And I'm sure, but make sure that doesn't get pointed at the person who's helping bring some awareness to this. Maybe call out people who, like, see, look at what Trevor Noah did. Where are you all at? Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, whoever the fuck else has talk shows. I don't know. Wayne Brady, does he still have talk show? I don't know. This is probably a little too heavy for daytime TV, but that's my only point. Is like, let's really audit ourselves. Let's really audit how we are trying to come across on social media. And I'm not perfect at this, but this is another layer of communication. How we're coming across and how we're really writing this stuff out matters. It means something, and it really matters. Let's see. Oh my gosh. So this looks really fucking funny. And I say that I'll never get into political stuff, but this is just fake edition of the Washington Post claiming Trump resigned has been refuted by the publication. On Wednesday, the U.S. newspaper issued a statement refuting a fake edition, claiming President Trump had stepped down from office. They are not Post products, and we are not looking into this. And we are looking into this, sorry. The publication tweeted faux copies were passed around throughout downtown Washington, D.C. by a political group. Oh my God. This is just so fucking funny. Somebody took the time, and I'm looking at the picture of this, like, look up the picture. It looks like a fucking legit newspaper. There's actual whole other articles on it, like, and the big one is that it's called Unprecedented. Trump hastily departs White House, ending crisis. That's so fucking ridiculous, with a picture and everything. And then there are other fucking articles here. Somebody went through great lengths to do this. The fake Washington, oh my God, being distributed around the White House is pretty convincing at first glance. Actual fake news being spread around DC today. People handing out these fake. They say they're allowed to dream. Papers justify it by pointing to the date on the papers, May 1, 2019. Oh my God. That's so fucking funny. Like that. I love anybody who takes time to really commit to a joke, and the commitment that this takes to fucking create an entire fake newspaper and then print it out. And then, oh my God, and then the thought, meticulous thought that went through this, and how much writing and how much all of this had to be, that's just, whoever you are, if you're listening, I doubt that you are, but if you're listening, my hat off to you. That is, that is one of the funniest, for sure. That's just one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen, like on across all boards, like having absolutely nothing to do with politics. Like that's just the that's like printing out a fake newspaper for anything and going that far. It could literally say anything. Alien popsicles have taken over the world. Like that's wow, dude. Okay. And let's see. This morning, we got some U.S. news. New website allows you to buy a beer for workers affected by government shutdown. Thanks to payitfurloughed.com, people can now donate money to a beer fund that goes toward buying beers for federal employees and contractors who are furloughed or working without pay during the U.S. government shutdown. Wow. Wowzers. Times are tough for federal employees. Fortunately, there's beer. Don't let them go thirsty in this challenging time and buy them a beer or two here. I just, as much as I am happy that people are doing something, can't we just give them some money? That seems like such a slap in the face. Like, we don't want to give you, $6 that you could probably use $10. How much does beers cost? I don't know anymore. I'm not a beer man, but that's funny. That's really fucking funny. What if you don't drink beer? There's tons of people who don't drink beer, like, and you work in the federal arm of the government. Like, dude, like, couldn't we just kickstart something and do that? Like, I don't know. Like, that's I have mixed feelings about that because that's pretty redonkulous to me. Okay. So, is there one more? What time is it? 5:30. I got to teach another class in a little bit here. God, let's see. What do we want? More money. When do we want it? Now. No, that's good. Let's do a fake ad. I haven't done one of those in a minute, and somebody on Twitter hit me up and said, "Do a fake ad." So I said, "Okay, let's do it. Let's look through Twitter here for something that maybe, I don't know, small brand, Las Vegas attraction. Let's look at the first one that comes up. Las Vegas attraction. First one that comes up is the Las Vegas Strip. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Ooh, Vegas indoor skydiving. Let's do that. Let's take a look, huh? Let's take a look-see. Man, this seems really fun. Okay, let's see. And they have some copy. So, not everybody wants to jump thousands of feet from an airplane. For the curious, yet not entirely daring, there's the thrill of indoor skydiving, located just off the Las Vegas Strip. 7 days a week, you can come in and feel like you're falling outside of an airplane. Yep, it's that simple. Just come on in, and we'll make you feel like you're gonna poop your pants because of the excitement of falling out of an airplane. Have you ever gone around town thinking, man, I sure wish I knew what it was like to fall out of an airplane and then without a parachute? Well, now you can. Now you can experience the great joy of feeling scared shitless, all for the low price of whatever the price is. So come on down. It's high in demand. Only 2 tickets left for select performances. Save 13% if you come online. Come online? Is that something people say? That sounds like an entirely different thing. Well, just come on down to Vegas Indoor Skydiving, where we have an adventure of a lifetime. Yeah, if you poop your pants, the pants are free. That's our poop pants guarantee. Poop your pants, and those pants you can take with you. Why wouldn't you poop your pants? It feels like you're falling out of a fucking airplane. Vegas Indoor Skydiving. Come experience it today. Hey, Vegas Indoor Skydiving. That one's on me. That's our sponsor for today. I need to start hitting up some of these places and being like, would you like me to advertise on the podcast and make up a funny little thing for you? I don't know. That's future. That's future. I want to build this up. I don't want to. If I did that, I don't know. I think people would actually kind of enjoy that if I improvised little things and they just gave me like 2 talking points and I got to improvise it. I think that would actually be funny because I'm doing that. But I digress. Thank you so much, every single one of you, for listening to this. I know I say it all the time, but I thank you, and I'm very grateful. And if you have anything you'd like to contribute, if you have a news article that you'd like to send me or something, just something interesting that you read, please send that to me. You can hit me up on any of the social medias at Brent Mukai, BrentMukai. Let me know some news articles. Let me know maybe a brand or something you'd like to hear a commercial about. I would love to do that and advertise. Not even advertise, just make a funny little blurb. Make a funny little blurb about it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let me know what you're thinking of this new format. I think that it's a lot of. I'm digging it, and it feels like I have less to think about as I'm going through. I can just react. So this new news format, Twitter news, pop culture news, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and yeah, with the funny ad, let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to try or do. I'm still figuring out what this podcast is and what it's about. But in the meantime, you take it easy. Have a good night, rest of your Wednesday night. I'll see you Friday. If I don't die first from all of these crazy play stuff. Starts next week. Super excited. Opening night next week. Soft open. So how soft? I don't know. You'll see. Well, my name is Brent Mukai. Voice actor, improv trainer, or what? Voice. Oh yeah, voice actor, improv trainer, entertainer. It rhymes. That's on no one but you. So I'm still learning how to close this out. Love y'all. Peace. See you Friday.